Welcome to the Daily Jump. And today we are traveling to Ireland, to Southern Ireland, to Bandon. And our special guest today is Gillian Powell, who happens to be my first cousin. And so Gillian is a parent of 5 amazing grown-up children. But most importantly for today's interview, she has been an early years educator for over 30 years, and she's run as a huge chunk of those years a Montessori school. She is now lecturing in early years pedagogy with a special interest in outdoor education and natural materials. I'm so excited to have this conversation with her today. It kind of builds on the conversation that I had yesterday with Satpiana and Mark, and starting to delve a bit more into some practical advice for parents as we move through these times. But before we get going in that particular area, I just want to have Gillian talk a little bit about the situation where she is in Ireland and what's kind of going on around here. Gillian?
Lovely to talk to you and to all of your viewers this afternoon, as it is here in Ireland. A lovely sunny day, if a little breezy. So I'm out in my garden. But basically, we're in total lockdown here now in Ireland. You can only move 2 kilometres beyond your house. But, the surge, as it were, hasn't actually happened. And I was talking to our neighbour, is the ICU doctor for our local hospital. And I was talking to him this morning and on the telephone, and he was saying that they haven't had any deaths right now. And, they have been treating people in ICU. So here people are definitely self-isolating, and it seems to be helping a lot. So our government moved quickly, and I think we're all being very socially aware and compassionate. But we're also in a lot of shock today because it was a matter of choice yesterday, and now it isn't a matter of choice anymore. So I think we've a mixture of feelings. So in my school, it ended very abruptly, and our teachers are putting little videos, nothing too much, because I think the most important thing now is not the curriculum. I think this is very hard on kind of alpha-like personalities, if you like, in that we always want to be doing something or achieving. But I think if parents just leave their kids be, they'll be amazed at the kind of learning and play that they'll come up with. And I think that, children right now, they, they have a lot going on emotionally for them. So I think if, all the experts say that play is where children work issues out. So if they can play, it's a great thing. And maybe parents could co-play with them. That's what we do a lot in early years. You join in the games with a view to kind of helping them develop and extending the learning. But in this instance, helping them understand this incredible situation we're all in. And if we're truly honest with ourselves, everybody has different coping strategies. And what you learn about, reading, writing, arithmetic aren't coming into my coping strategies right now, for one. And I think children will amaze us. They say that Shakespeare wrote the King Lear when he was in quarantine for the bubonic plague. And I think we'll be amazed at what our children come up with. In early years, the advice is to follow children's interests. And I think that's also good advice. So there's 2 things I would say. Be a co-author in your child's play. If they're building a den, ask their permission to join in their den play. Or if they're interested in snails in the garden or UFOs, I think this is a good time to explore their ideas and their interest and actually have the time to get to know your children. So I think this will be a rich time in all their lives if we can just be real and honest and maybe let go of the curricular aspects. This is giving us all permission to do that. No one's going to fall behind. And I think in that golden place, they'll be rich learning, and we don't know what this is going to bring about in the world, you know. But I think just surviving it emotionally intact as a family is going to be hard enough without worrying about the curriculum. But then there are other people who need the framework of the curriculum to get by, and that's okay too. I think we have to follow every sentence with that's okay too, and be gentle with yourself. And of course, nature. I think, you know, I've been very aware. My thesis was on outdoor education and natural material. So I'm conscious of sending ideas to the early years children and my buy things. So you use twigs and trees for counting, and how can you make up stories, you know, with natural materials? How can you create paint from egg yolks and spinach leaves? And there's loads of ideas on Pinterest where you can explore those things. So I'm saying go natural, let go, and enjoy some play with your children. They're the three essential things that I'd have to say this afternoon.
Wow. That was really beautifully said, Gillian. I'm just going to ask you to repeat just the name of your thesis because you broke up there. I'm very curious to know what the title of your thesis was.
Oh, it's outdoor education in three provinces in Ireland: Munster, Leinster, and Connacht. So I did a study of outdoor schools in Connacht, Leinster, and my own school, and I compared things that children experienced and learned in outdoor settings. Mine has, you know, we gather children in the morning indoors and then we go outdoors. The setting in Connacht was totally outdoors, as indeed was the one in Leinster. So that's what I did my study in. And I'm working on, well, I'm using this opportunity to work on a book with natural activities for children and families in the early years. So I'll have no excuse not to have it completed now during this quarantine. But yeah, so there are tons of ideas and a brilliant book. The Last Child in the Woods, if anybody would like a good read for parents about how important play and wilderness, and that means even in a small garden, you know, looking at the sky.
Yeah, and how you before we started recording, we were talking about even how it applies if you don't have a garden at all and you're in
Yeah,
an apartment situation, you're
that's
not
right.
disconnected from the natural world.
Not at all. Once you have a window, you know, you can see the sky passing. You're never ever apart. Even a little snail on your pavement, you're never, you know, you're never far away from nature. If you go looking for it, even the birds coming, flying past your window, you know, there's months of projects in that too.
And the cycle of the day,
Yes, of course, and the sky at night, you know,
the rhythms of the day are all available to you.
that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah,
And
and even the intimate observation of those small specific things can offer great depths.
absolutely, absolutely. You know the symmetries and the you can look at things under the microscope of your own eyes, you know, and look into the tiny blades of grass or a little flower petal, or you know, you can sit and look at the stars literally.
Yeah,
And in Ireland, we're seeing them for the sun has come out, and the cloud formations. I think people can see behind me here are looking lovely today.
yeah. I spoke a few days ago with a prominent abstract artist, and he was talking about the intimate observation of things, and also about the importance of boredom. That it's good to be bored,
Yeah,
and that he was hoping that people would. But to me, the boredom leads to exactly what you're talking about, where you start observing, you start naturally becoming interested in things.
I think. That's true, and it's your true natures, and you're really looking at what you're absolutely, at the things that move your soul.
Yes, yeah. And one of the things you and I were discussing about briefly, because I think one of the biggest stresses and biggest concerns of parents right now is their children being left behind because they're not keeping up with the curriculum that's been set. And what I've heard you say is, that some people need that curriculum, and if that's what you need, do it. If that's what
Yeah,
as a parent and in your structure,
if
you
that
need.
helps you survive, great.
Yeah,
I think, but a lot of homeschool people who do not follow any curriculum do really well at university. You know, um, children catch up easily, and every teacher on the planet will be very conscious. All of us know that people are bringing different experiences to this. I mean, your mom and dad could be nurses and doctors going out every day, and you could be living in a state of anxiety all the time. You're not going to be open to any learning, or it's going to be difficult for you. And I think teachers will be very cognizant of this when this is all over. So, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't hang on to the curriculum and falling behind. I think that will look after itself. Much more importantly is to have a nice experience with your family. This is a rare gift for most families,
yes.
and and if they can survive it financially, they're not going to get this time together again for a very long time. But we all know that time together in families isn't, it's like life, it has its ups and downs. But I personally don't think people should worry about that. They can, yes, if it helps you, but you know, I'd follow your child's interests. That works in early years education. It leads in amazing places. I'd be an advocate of allowing very much of the curriculum in primary school to go that way, but obviously it's very difficult to teach a large group in that kind of setting. But in early years, it works a treat. Children that are not amenable to group learning or to any imposition of teaching, they blossom when you say, well, what would you like to learn about? And they come up with fantastic ideas and creations. I mean, there's loads of websites, the Muddy Puddle Teacher and the Reggio Emilia approach, that's early years, for the early years age groups. And they might give you some ideas. As I say, Pinterest have loads of ideas about child emergent curriculums, and let the children design their own curriculum. You will be amazed at what they come up with, would be my advice.
Well, and I also think that it's really important for parents to drop that idea that their children are going to be left behind, because in fact, I believe that this situation we're in is going to teach things to our children that we couldn't teach any other way. It's
Yes.
not necessarily how I would choose to have,
No, no,
lessons,
no, sure.
but the fact remains that how we respond, what's going on around us, our children are sponges,
Yes.
and there's so much they're going to learn from us and from the world at this point. And I don't think we should underestimate the gift that is in this, for our children to develop. And I think that parents need to give themselves a break around, how they navigate this time.
Everyone be gentle with that, and don't worry about that. Yeah, for navigating it, do whatever you think is right for your family. If sitting in the garden having a cup of tea is right for your family, that's great. If going in and doing an hour of schoolwork is good for your family, that's great. I think that's the only way that you'll survive it. If you go out in the world for your answers in this particular situation, you won't. You have to come back to your own family and your own personal integrity and say what works for me. And I think that will you know, and with faith, we'll all get through this. And, you know, then, you know, try and be compassionate to people in a worse off situation than yourselves. And that's what's working for me. When I feel a bit sorry for myself, I'm thinking of people that are worse off than me. So, you know, please God, we'll all get to the other side of this, have a big celebration, and we'll worry about the curriculum then. And I'm sure it may even have changed. There'll be charging curriculums everywhere when the teachers realize what these children have learned while they haven't been in school at all.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Gillian, any parting words you want to leave us with?
Well, I think that's a good one. Look, stay safe, everybody. Stay well, and you know, think of the good times we'll have when this is all done. And you know, we've said it a lot of times, but it really is true. The children are all right. Indeed, your dad used to say that. The children are all right, you know. So I think that's what I'll say. Don't worry about the children. They're all right, you know.
Well, Gillian, thanks so much. I appreciate that you end with quoting my father.
You actually did say that. You did.
At the end of this interview, words I had already forgotten. So, Gillian, thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us today on the Daily Jump.
And love to you and all of yours. Take care now.
Thank you.